You'll be absolutely overwhelmed by the beautiful barns that they've built up there. There's not a beautiful barn in the whole southern half of the country. There may be a barn, but it won't be beautiful. It'll be about half put together and half maintained. That's because it's for cows, for goodness sake. We'll have a nice front porch and a good glass of tea, and that's more important to the southern culture. Okay, I mentioned Deming and his system. I mentioned that systems theory calls for involvement of everybody in an organization. I'm not going to give you a big long lecture on that stuff. You don't need it. If you want it, you can look it up. You can read it yourself. It's all valid. It's all been proven. It's been used over and over and over in industry and in some cases in government, lots of nonprofits. I did a lot of work in this regard with school boards and school systems around the country. And before 2008, it looked like we were having an impact. Since then, the money cuts have destroyed basically everything I did for the 10 years before that. But we'll see. The point is, we need every camp in this confederation to consider in an organized way 6 questions and provide the information that comes from those to me, to my team at the national level. We will put it into a database, we will collect it, we will refine it, we will put it in documents. There's already one document. How many of you own a What Works in Camps book? We have already published a little booklet called What Works in Camps. Contact, if you would, Ben Sewell and tell him you want your copy. They were supposed to be handed out at Vicksburg. I wasn't at Vicksburg. My wife is sick and I
didn't do it.
Didn't go.
They didn't do it.
Obviously. They're there. Call Ben up and tell him to send you one. It's not my idea about what works in camps. It is your idea. We surveyed camps all over. I mean, all of these 6 questions. We spent a year and a half gathering answers to what works in camp. I edited a book, put it together, and we published it saying, here's what works in camps in each of these 6 areas. Our opinion, my opinion. Okay, that's all. Is there somebody in one of your camps that knows as much about the Arizona division and camps in it as I do? Ah! There's a couple of hundred of them. I barely know where Arizona is. It's my 2nd time in the state right now.
Beg your pardon, sir, we're between California and New Mexico.
Good point. I know something about the SCV, but you know something about the people in Arizona. You know lots about educating the people of Arizona that I do not. And my answer for Kentucky is not necessarily not only the same answer, it's not likely to be very close. You all are here from all over a very large state. We have about the same number of camps. Well, we got 25 in Kentucky. I have trouble getting people to drive 20 miles to a brigade meeting. Well, I'm not driving that far just to sit around and listen to somebody talk. Well, my answers for 20-mile personal space is very different from yours at a couple of 100 miles. Maybe, maybe not. But we need to communicate our differences, and that's how we know. And that's what we're talking about. We're going to do this in a very structured way, and so it has to be done at a meeting. It can be a special meeting or it can be an add-on. It will take about 1.5 hours to 2 hours to properly deal with one question. We got to do 6 of them. I want to do it in the next year. So that July of next year, at the reunion in Charleston, we can present what works in camps, again, in all 6 questions, and what works in divisions in all of these. And by then, if systems theory is correct, and we must us believe it is, at least Ford says so, and GM says so, and IBM says so, and Toyota says so, we will be seeing a significant surge in membership. The word gets out. When an organization is producing, just like those girls building the little electrical components, when the word gets out that people are watching, people are listening, that what's going on is important, when all of a sudden there are PR efforts going on all over Arizona, when all of a sudden there's advertisements showing up, billboards, and it doesn't have to be a bought billboard, by the way, we can talk about that. And these things are happening when people out there who are Confederate descendants or at least sympathizers say, wow, this SCV organization's doing things. I thought they were just an outgrowth of the Klan. They're doing useful stuff. I think I'll look into it. Then our numbers will grow. Not until. If they were going to, just for us being good people, they would have done it 100 years ago. And it didn't. Okay. Show of hands, which one of these 6 do you want to talk about next? I'm going to show you how to do what I want you to do in every camp. So you get to pick the one to learn it on.
When I'm out and people see this badge, I educate them on what we're all about.
Educate the public. We have 1 vote for educate the public. We have 2 votes for educate the public. 3?
Educate the public.
Educate the public.
We're going to talk about educate the public. When you go into a camp, do one of these sessions, I want you to have a flip chart or something like it. Flip charts are good because that makes you a what? Expert. Exactly.
Makes you the guy with the clipboard and production goes up.
Same thing. He's an expert. This is really, when you think about it, just a big clipboard. They've got the clip at the top. It's just an oversized clipboard for groups. Same thing. Top of your chart, you're going to write. No, we don't want how, we want what.
Why?
What actions can we take to public in Arizona? Now, if you're doing this in Phoenix, what's the last word going to be in your sentence?
Phoenix.
Phoenix, or the Phoenix area. Or the Quad Cities, or Sierra Vista, or Southern Arizona. I don't know where you're going to be doing. You've got to figure that out. But the point is to ask a specific question. What actions can we take? Not how can we do it, because you'll get into a philosophical discussion. You want to know specific actions. All right, now, here's the next thing you got to have. And you don't have to, all right? And I don't mean you've got to have a flip chart. If you'd rather do this on a blackboard, that's fine. If you've got some other device, if you've got a whole bunch of techies and you've got an interactive whiteboard and they can do it on the screens of their computers, all the better. I would love to be told that some camp has done this whole thing virtually. But my camp's not like that. And I'll bet yours isn't either. But how you do it doesn't matter. The point is to ask the question publicly so that everybody has a chance to answer. And then you're going to do something called brainstorming. There are about 15 of these group process techniques that were developed as a part of systems theory back 30, 40 years ago. One of them is brainstorming. You never, ever want to brainstorm with a group bigger than about 25, and not normally with a group smaller than 4 or 5. Why not? Because if you've got a bigger group than that, you won't be able to spend the time and get the ideas you want out. You've got to write down, as you're going to see me do in a minute, and you'll spend so much dead time that you won't do it. It's better in brainstorming not to make people raise their hand and ask a question, because some people won't do that. It's better from you just to point to them and get it. If brainstorming is not working for you, you can do something called round robin reporting. I could start right here and go to every man and point to you, and you'd have to give me an idea. If you use round robin, I want one of your ground rules to be that anybody has the right to say pass. Okay? Because some of us don't think real good with a big loud guy up front pointing at us and saying, "What's your idea?" You know, some of us go blank and just go, "That's okay. Perfectly all right." Maybe the third time around, he will have had time to formulate his thoughts. We're human beings. It takes a different amount of time to formulate our thoughts. Some people will speak right out on brainstorming. Some won't. Doesn't matter. One rule I do recommend is nobody gets to give you a second idea until everybody's had a chance to give one. And that there are no bad ideas in brainstorming. Are there going to be bad ideas when you start evaluating them later? Oh yeah. Yeah, there are going to be some really bad ideas. But that's okay. You'll see why when we get there. Okay? So, because of the size of the group, let's do raise hands this time. And I'm going to try to capture what you're saying. Do not allow, when you're in charge, do not allow discussion. Why?
You'll take forever.
Because we will break down into personal arguments about what's written on the board, and you just can't allow that. Okay?
So you just want to get ideas.
I just want to get ideas and get them on paper.
Okay.
So, who's got an idea? What action, what specific action can we take?
All the camps go to parades and Picacho and things like that. At those events that they participate in normally, they should also have a particular individual recruiting, educating, whatever it is going on, in addition to participating in the parade or the event.
Participate in parades, good. What else?
Join the Arizona Historical Societies because they don't know the Confederate history of Arizona. And the group down here and the group in Phoenix are both very small, and they are easy to get on that body and to get into a position of leadership.
Okay, so we've got join a historic society. How about take over the historic society?
That can be done. It's not something to laugh at. It can be done with about 5 members on either the one in Phoenix or the one down here. We'll get someone.
Okay, and we need to hold discussion to the minimum and get ideas.
Design a PR campaign based around exactly what is the message that you want to put out there, that you want the public to know
Hold a
about you.
formal PR campaign.
Yep.
Good? I misspelled campaign, but you're going to not hold that against me because I've pre-forgiven myself.
Every camp should have a school program that they can go into a school and make a presentation. And that should be a goal of every camp.
Have school programs. Good? What else?
Organized Speakers Bureau, not only dealing with schools, but with other community organizations, like Kiwanis, Lions, Rotary.
Organize the Speakers Bureau. Bring that back up to me after we finish this exercise and let me talk about it, please. I have something to say about the Arizona Speakers Bureau.
Some kind of awards program for various groups.
Have an awards program. Okay, now I'm going to ask you to follow on and talk about what kind of awards you're talking about here.
Well, we started one, it's called the Sally Louise Tompkins Award, and we issued it to a hospital. We take it to a hospital, and here we took it to the VA, and they award it to what they consider an outstanding nurse.
Okay, so you award outstanding non-war Southern Independence people. right? Just an awards program to recognize outstanding
Yeah,
people.
Sally Louise Tompkins was the only Confederate female officer.
Sure.
She was a nurse.
Yeah, but the people you're honoring don't have to have anything
They
to
don't
do.
have, no, they don't have to have it.
What else?
JROTC award program.
Yeah, the Hunley Award.
Yeah.
What else?
The law enforcement award.
Well, can I just say, use existing SCV awards?
Sure, yeah.
Because that's right, I mean, we could list every one of them, but the truth is, what we want to get out is that we've got an awards program, national, and it needs to be used. What else?
An ongoing media program.
What's that mean?
You have something in the paper or the radio or constantly, every week or every month. Articles, story.
Okay? What else?
Take part in community events, Habitat for Humanity, that sort of thing.
Okay? Y'all have a highway program in Arizona, adopt a mile of highway?
Yep.
You probably adopt 10 miles.
We're doing that right now.
We're discussing that in our camp now.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Refreshment stands at any kind of public events. There's always a lot of like bike races, and the city does, well, you know, all different kinds of art fairs and things like that. Marathons, that sort of thing.
Right.
Well, just something as simple as one of our mechanized cavalry, just wearing something to tell people you're a member and get them questioning you and talking to them.
Good.
Of course, there's a classic one to go with that. Mechanized cavalry runs and barbecues. It's a ride to a barbecue somewhere. People can go on that don't even have to be in the mechanized cavalry. All they need is a motorcycle.
Invite other organizations into some of your activities.
Will somebody take this and hang it up back there on the wall, please? Okay, invite other organizations or other people.
Other organizations, we've invited the American Legion's Honor Guard into some of our things. And believe it or not, we even invited the Buffalo Soldiers to take part in one of our things.
Nothing wrong with that. I think it's a great idea.
Because we've been getting so much bad press out of the Phoenix newspapers and whatnot, we just figured we needed to kind of turn that around.
I want you to notice something here. The ideas really came fast at first. You're going to find that too. When you start doing this, you're going to get lots of stuff out early on. At about 6 or 7 minutes into it, you're going to dry up. The ideas are going to stop. What do you do then? This is a classic group process technique. I'm teaching you a secret of experts here. What do you do when the ideas dry up?
We go back to what we got so far, and then we kind of thin that down, and that will probably bring more ideas.
You're about 10 minutes early.
Sorry.
Come back with that idea then.
Okay.
What you do when the ideas all stop is you just stand there and you keep looking at them. Did you ever sit quietly, absolutely quietly for any extended period of time? Let's try. Make no sounds at all. Just sit quietly. Isn't that awful? We don't like silence. We who are in this business of moving people around, we want some noise. And preferably, we want to be making it, but it doesn't matter. We want something going on. And we started to see it. And I'm sure some of you were looking around. Some of you weren't. Some of you were pretending to be asleep. But at about 5 seconds, people started to fiddle with their glasses and their pen, you know, something. At 15 seconds, it was by half a minute. Some of us, like John over there, were checking the bottoms of the table for bubble gum. That's human. That's the way it is. That's how we live. You will start getting ideas again before that minute's up. If you just stand there and look at them, completely quiet, they'll come up with ideas. And the ideas they come up with will generally be much more creative than the ideas that you got first. The first ideas you get are the quick, easy ideas. The ones at the top of all our heads. I'm not saying they're bad ideas, I'm just saying they're easy. But the creative ideas, albeit often illegal and impractical, will come out in that second. But they will happily suggest that you sacrifice your firstborn son rather than endure the silence again. You'll get ideas. Then, after about 5 minutes, for a total of about 13 minutes of brainstorming, at about 13, the ideas will dry up again. What do you do that time? Put them through it again? No. No. They won't put up with it. If you try it the second time, they'll be out the door. You've lost it. What you do is you move on. You go to the next step. You think of something else to do. But I'm just telling you, you want that second group of ideas, because that's where people have been thinking, struggling to come up with a good idea. Okay. Now, at that point, when you've got all the ideas you're likely to get, give them a break. They've been working hard. It's been at least 15 minutes, plus you spent at least 15 getting into it. And it's time for them to have a little break. Talk to each other, think about what they're doing. That gives you time to do what I'm doing now. And that is to put the things up and spread the ideas out.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Did anybody else come up with more ideas while we were being quiet?
Good idea. Ask.
Nobody? I did.
Yeah, what was your idea? Give it to us. Let's use
I got
it.
2 more. How about Fox SCV movie?
Somebody write these down. Use my yellow sheet up there, wherever it is.
You got it, Bobby? Got it. How about SCV movie night at the Fox Theater? You can request movies to be played over there. A Western or something, whatever. We could sell fried chicken at the county fairs.
Oh, good God.
There's all kinds of different organizations have.
Fried chicken at the county fair.
Yeah, a nice southern thing that I don't think they're selling there already very much.
There's a reason people don't.
You don't count because you don't like chicken, so don't worry about it.
Don't like chicken?
We can put him
Where'd
in,
that man jeans come from?
It makes me sick as a dog.
we'll put him in charge because he won't be eating the profit.
Okay.
See what I gotta put up with? Did you see what I gotta put up with?
Now y'all remember, well, I don't know, this is Arizona. How many of y'all are from Arizona originally? I mean, you grew up out here.
Not a whole lot.
Not too many. All right. Where do most of us, east of the Mississippi in any case, and as far out as Oklahoma, I've lived there, where do we learn how to run meetings and how to pick one idea over others and all that kind of stuff. In the Army? Army? I learned, most people in my world learn in the 4th grade. And we learned it in the 4th grade because in the 4th grade, the county agent and the home demonstration agent show up and organize a 4-H club. That's the first club that gets organized in Kentucky schools. And they start in the 4th grade and they teach you a lot of stuff. They teach you, you gotta raise your hand, stand up and be recognized before you can do anything. You gotta make a motion and get a second. And then you vote on it. You always have vote majority rules, right? Everybody remember, I mean, that's all the Robert's Rules of Order most of us know. It's all we need to know. Well, what's the problem with that? We all learn the first time we have an election for president. What's everybody do? They all nominate their best friend, and you end up with everybody in the group's name up there nominated, and then everybody votes. Who's everybody vote for? Themselves. And so you vote, and you vote, and you vote. It takes about 6 rounds of voting before you actually get somebody. What's the problem we would have in the SCV in a camp if we brainstormed ideas and got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 18 ideas up there?
Everybody just wants to do their own.
Everybody's going to go for their own. It's the best idea up there. I know my idea is the best. Why? Because I had it. That's human nature. So, we're going to vote, but we're going to use a more modern group process technique called straw polling. It's voting, but you're not stuck with one vote like you are in a 4-H election. You get 4 votes. Is there magic behind the number 4? Yes. That is the number of dots on the sheet that I bought.
Very technical stuff.
Very technical stuff. You can give them 3 votes. You shouldn't give less than 3. You can give them 7 votes. You can give them as many votes as you want. But give them at least 3. And when I turn you loose in a minute to vote, I want you to invest your 4 votes however you see fit. If one idea up there is outstanding, better than all the rest, and you're really big on it, give it 4 votes. If you want to. If you like 4 of the ideas equally, give them each a vote. If you think your idea is the best and one other idea is pretty good too, did I miss you?
No. Do you want to put numbers on them, so we can just put a number?
Now I want you to put your dot on the
Okay.
right side, right beside the yellow thing, just put.
Okay.
And I want you to get up and walk back there and look around at them, talk to your friends if you want to. Now if you do this in a mixed company, it's okay, but then you're going to have to make one additional rule. You have to vote only your own votes. Because I have done this probably 500 times in the past 20 years, and I've never done it in a mixed group that some guy didn't ask his wife to give him some of her votes because he'd already put all of his up there on the wrong thing. All right? Only vote your own vote.
Ain't no fair when we need
You're right.
Stickers didn't get it.
Yep. You gotta leave the stickers where they are. Now, what if 2 of these had ended up being essentially the same thing?
Come on, go ahead, go make a vote here.
Is it all right to consolidate them before you start voting? Absolutely. But get the group's approval. Don't combine any until everybody agrees that they ought to be combined. And if you're dealing with school teachers, know that they will try to combine them all into one before you're over. So you've got to know when to say when.
Can we Y'all are stickers for somebody?
I've seen it try.
More shots of whiskey get you 4 rows. Stickers for sale.
Sell your votes.
Gee, sounds like.
Bobby, this ain't Louisiana where you vote early and vote often.
Gee, sounds like the national election.
Is this what Democrats want?
No, they go, you will do it this way.
They bring a pocket full of their own.
Dead wrong.
You find out what color is out there, use it, and then they get a bunch of.
You get 5 things to vote on for the rolls. When we first moved to Louisiana, I looked for a church to go to. My wife was raised Presbyterian. It was Beauregard Parish is dry.
Unless you're in Chicago.
So we went to the Presbyterian church. She was used to the Welsh's in Little Cup. So she gets back.
Sorry, Paul, I ain't
That was real watch. That was the only place to.
It seemed like a natural. Well, that's so cheap.
Make sure you have alcohol.
I sent them in. I need something quiet.
I'm on the outside.
Sorry, I can't get nothing hacking on
It's your meeting.
Yeah, that's something. Last time I saw him was in the VA, just had a valve replacement.
Is that right? Well, you shouldn't do that more than 2 or 3 times.
That's been a long time.
My wife was trying to take pictures of Tucson birthday celebration.
That's out of the old time.
What have you been up to?
Just
hanging on.
Hey, Ann?
Yeah, and there's one color for lunch that wraps around the wrist to help stabilize it.
Well, it wouldn't help her okay, because she's getting the shakes that her dad's getting.
From the farmers.
Yeah.
Beginning of. Texas guys
Go over there, go in there, clean up tomorrow. I can leave right after this, but I have the same lane between Chicago and home, where I live tonight or tomorrow.
Phoenix direct light.
It doesn't matter how many layovers of them. They were perfectly willing to route me from here, leaving here at 5 o'clock today, getting home at 10 o'clock. Or I can leave tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning.
What, Dave, you declare war again? Yeah, we got the cannon outside. Who's up front? Says Rick.
Does it make sense?
Says, what's that ribbon you wear? One of the dates for determining
Now we gotta go Tucson, Utah.
Now we can afford this for tonight.
It's still on my list.
Oh, yeah. 64.
I guess it was somebody told me what it was.
It's more than 2 hours.
go next to the restaurant. There's like big ones.
Clyde brought up something.
Do what?
Clyde brought up something just now.
What's that?
That, after we get all this Vision 2016 going, if we can get all the camp coordinators on Skype, so we can communicate with each other.
Exactly.
Easily.
Exactly.
And that's easy.
Are we all good?
Give me some information of where to go. Name your phone number. I'll have all the information on
Yeah, okay, so that actually takes care
Matter of fact, when I started
Velcro they could have. Velcro they could build along some of the stress. You could start moving them down there. That'd be handy.
You can hardly walk. Send some balance to $10.
Okay, let's take a minute and look at that.
He just stopped taking suggestions,
Remember, there is no right answer to this. The object is to get an answer. What this group, if you were a camp, now you're not, but you are a division, wanted to emphasize one idea that came out of the heads of your group, what would it be? It would be associated with the Historical Society, wouldn't it? How the school program's important, 10 people thought highly of it. Ongoing media campaign, 13, that's important. But 15 say join the Historical Society and 13 say take over the Historical Society. That's what this group thinks will work. Okay? So, I'm going to again, once this voting is over, the straw polling, thank you. Back up on the flip chart. If this is in a camp, and they came up with that, and they said, you know, we really feel strongly, we've invested a lot of votes in the local historical society, that would be fine. Take those numbers down, send me the whole thing if you want to, but that costs more in postage than it's really worth. Take good pictures of it and email them, will work just as well, or transcribe them into a data file and email it indirectly. Don't send it directly to me. You can if you want to, there's no point. What it really needs to do is go to your division coordinator, and from your division coordinator to your Army coordinator, who will give it to me. Who is your Army coordinator? No, don't volunteer, Kurt. I want to know if they know you.
Oh, okay.
Who's your division coordinator? So when the camp does it, You send it to your division, division sends it to the Army, Army sends it to me. Actually, you will also copy it to the, whatever question this is out of the 6, and send me a copy, because the action will be taken at his level. But then the next step, after you've gotten this information,